It's time to take a look at what's happening around Wyoming for Wednesday, August 7th. I'm Wendy Corr, bringing you headlines from the Cowboy State Daily newsroom, brought to you by the Wyoming State Fair. Beginning August 13th in Douglas, the Wyoming State Fair has something for everyone. For more information, visit wystatefair.com. The newest conspiracy in Wyoming politics involves House Speaker Albert Summers of Pinedale and an alleged connection with the Chinese Communist Party, or CCP. Rumors have been building, mostly over social media, about Summers' role as board member for the State Legislative Leaders Foundation, a nonpartisan public policy group that had past relations with a Chinese group connected to the CCP. But politics reporter Leah Wolfson said Summers called the idea that he has any connection with Chinese communists perhaps the most ridiculous thing he's ever heard.
And he thinks it's a total joke and laughable that they would accuse him of being involved with the Chinese Communist Party. Summers himself is a third-generation rancher. He's lived in Pinedale his entire life. He's never even been to China on top of all that. But I talked to his opponent, Laura Talaferro-Pearson, who believes that there is some concern to be had there and that there is a legitimate connection between the organization and the CCP.
Stephen Lackas, president of SLLF, told Cowboy State Daily on Monday that his organization has no ongoing relationship of any kind with the Chinese People's Association or ever has with the Chinese Communist Party. Kentucky-based Ramaco Resources took an important step Tuesday to start mining rare earths in Wyoming with the announcement that it has retained global engineering firm Fluor Corporation to help build a processing plant outside of Sheridan. Cowboy State Daily's Pat Mayo reports that Fluor has deep global experience in helping to build infrastructure for rare earths projects.
Which is like about a $16 billion company. It's huge. And I spoke to the CEO earlier today, Randall Atkins. He was telling me this is real stuff. This is happening now. You know, with the hiring of Fluor, that sends a really big message to the marketplace. So they're going to start seeing some work out there.
Early technical estimates have placed Ramaco's rare earths find at $37 billion, but no one knows for sure what's in the ground until after Ramaco completes an assessment later this year. The leader of one of Wyoming's most powerful lawmaking committees is livid about 3 attack campaign mailers his Republican primary election challenger sent to several Cheyenne residents. Cowboy State Daily's Claire McFarland reports that Kathy Russell, challenger for Cheyenne State House District 7, distributed 3 mailers recently about her opponent, longtime Cheyenne Republican incumbent Representative Bob Nicholas, who co-chairs the Wyoming Legislature's Appropriations Committee.
Her committee dispatched mailers saying things like Bob Nicholas wants obscene books in schools. I'm paraphrasing, but on one of these mailers, she cited a Texas bill, not a Wyoming bill. And Bob Nicholas rebutted in a statement saying, you know, that's obviously a lie because I don't serve Texas. And he also said that he doesn't stand for the things that she says he does.
Russell told Cowboy State Daily that the Texas bill reference was an unfortunate typo stemming from a nationwide graphics consultant possibly cutting and pasting her design without taking out the inaccurate reference. The Clearwater Fire, about 11 miles west of Wapiti in Park County, remained at 7% containment Tuesday, with nearly 2,000 acres burned in the Shoshone National Forest. But Cowboy State Daily's Jackie Dorothy reports that the main concern for locals is getting the message out that the highway to Yellowstone's east entrance, which has been impacted by the fire, is still very much open.
It hasn't closed down. And there are a few road closures, but it's trail closures and other things so fire personnel can get out to the fire. What they're doing right now is they're creating fire breaks and they're continuing to protect that highway and make it so that tourists can get to Yellowstone National Park from Cody.
The Wyoming Incident Command Center estimates that full containment of the fire, which is burning in rugged, inaccessible terrain, may not be until October 15th. I'll be back in just 15 seconds with more news.
In southwest Wyoming, wide open space is waiting. This is how we explore it. In Rock Springs and Green River, Wyoming. Plan your adventure at explorewy.com.
There's an angry bird perched just above E Street along Interstate 25 in Casper. A person in a disgruntled-looking white chicken costume holds an AR-15 rifle and threatens people who eat meat. Then, in smaller letters, the billboard urges people to go vegan to avoid contracting avian flu. It's a provocative message that plays on two issues Wyomingites feel very strong about: eating meat and guns. That's according to Cowboy State Daily's Dale Killingbeck.
We checked with the health department in Wyoming, also with the state veterinarian, and there is an issue with bird flu in a dairy herd, but there are no issues related to eating chicken or other meat. I was told by the Stock Growers Association executive vice president that, again, this is just PETA trying to do their thing and get people not to eat meat and to turn to be a vegan.
The PETA Vegan Campaign project manager said the billboard in Casper is one of many the group has put up targeting areas around the country where avian flu has been detected. Before a federal judge sentenced a convicted child torturer to 9 years in prison Tuesday, he blasted the failings of a tribal child protective system and voiced weariness at the ripple effect of a father's poor choices. U.S. District Court Judge Alan B. Johnson handed down a 108-month sentence Tuesday to 36-year-old Truman Sitting Eagle, who pleaded guilty in April to assault causing serious bodily injury for torturing his 13-year-old stepson last autumn. Crime reporter Claire McFarland was in court for the sentencing and reports that Sitting Eagle wept while in court.
It did seem that Truman Sitting Eagle was genuinely remorseful. What he seemed most upset about is that his actions have deprived his children, including his other 5 children, of a father. And Judge Alan B. Johnson spoke at length and really criticized Northern Arapaho Department of Family Services for giving the boy back to his mother after a prior abuse case.
The judge said he hopes Sitting Eagle succeeds in improving his life, adding that he believes Sitting Eagle's desire to make positive changes is sincere. And the first weeks of August tend to be the hottest of the summer season in Wyoming. It's also the beginning of the long-range winter forecast season, with some agencies already coming in with bold predictions for what the upcoming winter will bring. But Cowboy State Daily meteorologist Don Day told reporter Andrew Rossi that he doesn't trust any long-range forecasts released this soon in the summer.
The problem is that's 6 months away from now. We're talking about what the weather's going to be during the peak of winter in December, January, and February, and a lot can happen between now and then. NOAA's forecast is for the entire United States for what that winter may or may not look like. And while some people may celebrate that, others are going to be extremely disappointed because the last long-range forecast from 2023 that people got really excited about was pretty wrong in a lot of respects.
Day is working on his long-range forecast for the state of Wyoming, but said he needs a few more weeks of modeling and real-time weather before it's ready. And that's today's news. Get your free digital subscription to Wyoming's only statewide newspaper by hitting the daily newsletter button on cowboystatedaily.com. And you can watch this newscast every day by clicking subscribe on our YouTube channel. I'm Wendy Corr for Cowboy State Daily.